So lesson 1.3 takes a combination of what you did in 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3. All right. And it's writing and evaluating expressions. Um, the evaluating part is the easy part of this. The more difficult part is the writing the expressions. So let's take a look at this. Um, First off, you have to know that an algebraic expression is just a bunch of numbers, variables, and operations all put together. And when we evaluate, right, an expression, what we're basically doing is breaking the expression down to a single numerical value. Okay, so there's a difference between evaluating and solving. Now to evaluate these expressions, very similar to what you did in 1.2, but now we have to actually substitute the value of the variable in. So evaluating expressions, the first thing you're going to do is substitute the value of the variables using parentheses. And then number two, you're going to evaluate the expression using correct order of operations. Okay? Now, the reason I like to use parentheses is because then signs don't get all mixed up. So example one, to evaluate the following expression, what I would do is everywhere you see a y, you're going to kick it out and replace it with a 9. So 4, oh, what happened there? So we're going to do 4 times, kick y out, replace it with 9 minus 15. When you see 4y, you have to think 4 times y. So what's 4 times 9? 36. 36 minus 15 would give you 21. Okay. Example 2. Evaluate 3 times a times b plus c divided by 2 for a is 2, b is 5, c is 10. So everywhere you see an a, you're going to kick it out, replace it with a 2. B is going to be replaced with 5, C with 10. So 3 times 2 times 5 plus 10 divided by 2. Now order of operations. We're going to focus on this multiplication first. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 5 is 30 plus 10 divided by 2 is 5. And 30 plus 5 is 35. So pause the video and go ahead and try the 2 U-try problems that follow. Okay, U-try number 1 here. Everywhere we see a G, we're going to replace it with an 8, H with 7. So 6 times 8 plus 7. Remember, in order of operations, do what's in parentheses first. So 6 times 8 plus 7 is 15. 6 times 15 would be 90. Hopefully you got that correct. And the last one here. So we're going to do 2 times kick x out, replace it with 4, times kick y out, replace it with 3, minus kick z out, replace it with 1. Technically, you don't have to use parentheses there. It's just a good habit to get into. Now, 2 times 4 is 8. 8 times 3 is 24. 24 minus 1, you should have gotten 23. Okay. So now this is the part I was telling you would probably be the most difficult. Okay. It's taking real life examples and putting variables, writing them in algebraic expressions. So in example 1, they tell us energy drinks come in cases of 24 bottles. So part A, write a variable expression to represent the number of cases a store should order to get B bottles of energy drinks. All right. Well, the number of cases, right, is going to equal the number of bottles B, right? What would you do to the number of bottles? Well, how many come in a case? 24. So we would divide it by 24. So the algebraic expression, I would say, is C represents cases equals the number of bottles B divided by 24. So evaluate the expression and determine the number of cases a store should order if they need 120 bottles. So right here, this tells you B is 120. So the number of cases would be equal to 120 divided by 24. which means you would need 5 cases. Okay. Pause the video and try example 2 on your own. So example 2, an online music store charges $14 for each CD, right? Shipping costs $6 per order. Write a variable expression for the cost of ordering CDs. So the cost, if you think about it, is equal to how much are you paying for each CD? $14. Now, if it's $14 each CD, say I bought 10 CDs, how much would that cost me? Quickest way to figure that out would be to do 14 times 10. But if we don't know, right, the number of CDs, we would say 14 times C, where C represents the number of CDs, right? But then it says $6 per order for shipping. Are we paying that one time or multiple times? We're only paying it one time. So we're going to take the cost of the CDs and just add the $6 for shipping. So to find the cost of ordering 8 CDs, well, they're telling me C is 8. So the total cost here would be 14 times 8 plus 6. And 14 times 8 would be 112 plus 6, which would give you $118. Okay, so go and attempt the reteaching worksheet, check your answers, and then continue with the practice worksheet and send that to me. All right, enjoy the rest of your day.